All right, Shala. Now, Shala, I hear you. And I mostly agree with you. Okay.
Okay.
The question is this. Why do you think we lack those institutions that we need to create? What's stopping us from creating those things? See, I have my view of that, but I want to hear yours.
I think somebody said something to me this year on LinkedIn that has been very profound for me. Another African said this to me, right? And there was somebody, if I remember correctly, somebody had raised a point around, issues in Africa. And I said, can you be practical with me, please? Can you tell me, forget about these ideas. Can you tell me how you expect? I think this, if I remember correctly, this was the issue. The issue had to do with, I think, let me not make it up. I can't remember. But the issue is this, right? And I said, can you just break it down to practical steps for me? What do you expect as a solution to this? Yeah. And the guy came to me and said, look, my brother, don't bother about this, because in Africa, we are very good with blue sky thinking. The problem is when you now begin to challenge people, please, can you break this down for me into practical steps? They either get very touchy, or they move away from that subject, because everybody is blue sky. All of us are blue sky thinkers.
They cancel you.
Yes, all of us are blue sky thinkers, right? And that is one of the reasons I believe institutions are not being built.
Okay.
Because it is easy to whip up emotion.
Yeah.
It is easy to identify a problem.
Yeah.
It's easy to provide solution when nobody is asking you for accountability, right? But when I say, I love your idea, but can you please tell me how I'm going to make that happen?
Yeah.
But you cannot do that, right? And that is one of the reasons why we're not building institutions, because we are not going down to the practical level to address the practical issues we have why those institutions don't exist.
Okay.
The second thing I said, and I mentioned it earlier, is that we have a very short-term approach to problem solving.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody that is in problem today wants a leader that will solve it in their lifetime.
Now.
Right now. In the next few months. Because if you don't, then you're already tired. And I fully understand that. Because I think I've said this to you, and we've had this conversation offline. Africa is a traumatized continent. We're traumatized. And one of the issues with that is that people are already tired. The patience has been drawn. People don't have patience again, because they've given a lot of long shot and nothing has come out from it. So I totally get that. But the truth about it is, we need to invest in those institutions, right? And one of the things we need to do is that we need to be ready to make the sacrifice.
Okay.
If you look at a country like Japan today, if you look at the history from the Second World War, right? There has been a lot of investment in creating a society for themselves.
Yeah.
Right? They have invested in creating a society. They had a vision of how they want to look like. And they've slowly invested in that. Not everybody will get the benefit in their lifetime. Some of the politicians that started the journey will not see the result, but they understand that they are part of a conveyor belt. And they may not see the benefit, but they are ready to invest the effort in.
Yeah.
The other thing that is very important, right, in building institutions is we need to then identify those institutions we want to build, right? If you look at, for example, the political party structure in Africa, it cannot give you strong leadership in many places, because those parties either are not based on any principles, or they are put together by people that have vested interest. Now, people are going to tell me, hey, in the US, there's vested interest. I totally get that. But then you can understand, until recently, right? You can understand the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. Very clearly in their ideology, right? And sometimes you might have a few people floating in between the two, but generally, you know where they stand for.
When a Democrat speaks to you, without telling you I'm a Democrat, you know exactly where he's from.
You know how, exactly, and then you know there's some that are center, left, center, right. So, but generally, generally, in Africa, you cannot say that.
No.
Right? Because we don't have that kind of ideology.
That's why it's very easy for them to move across party line all the time.
it's all about victory. It doesn't matter which party it is, as long as we have power. Because there's no accountability anyway. So nobody's going to say, hey, you're not following policy because, you know, you're not tied to any policy.
What policy?
Exactly. You kind of make it up as you go along. So the reason why we don't have this, for me, these are some of the reasons. We're not investing enough. We're very short term. And of course, we need to identify those institutions that we need to build, right? And then we need to start to build them. There's a lot of work from followers. This is not all about leadership. There's a lot of work. I was telling somebody the other day, right? One of the reasons why things work in different countries is because people have a vested interest.
Yeah.
Right? When you go to certain places, right, and you go to a hospital, for example, they don't expect you to give them bribe before they do their work. In fact, they will feel insulted if you offer them something, because this is my job, right? So everybody knows they are part of it.
Yeah.
There is a strong commitment to the center, right? We are part of this, right? So we hold each other accountable. I don't need the government to hold each other accountable. We hold each other accountable, right?
Okay.
It doesn't mean it works perfectly. And people will tell me where in the US there are drug problems, there are dirty streets. I know that. But generally, people hold themselves accountable because there's something they take pride in their country. They take a lot of pride in it, right?
Now, let me just say this, okay?